Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. In the national championship last night, the UConn Huskies beat the San Diego State Aztecs. Let's go through the game. UConn led almost all of it. It was 36-24. The coach said it should have been up by 20. The Aztecs would get close, 55-60, at the 5-minute mark. But the game was taken over from there. By the end of the game, it was so much dominated late by the final score was 76-59. The MVP for the national championship was Adam Sanoga for basically probably what the tournament that means. Also, outstanding game, Tristan Netward, who had 10 rebounds and 19, scored. Addison Nego scored 17. Hodkins scored 16 and 10 rebounds. The Huskies were the best team, 4 seed, and the best team in the NCAA tournament. It became clear after none of their games were really that close. Jim Nantz called his last game as a football announcer earlier this fall and called his last and final game ever as an NCAA basketball game. We'll go through that at the end, locally AFC Championship, and a few calls from KU. We'll do more on that on Friday. That will be at the end. All of the rings, touch. The Hurley family has head coach at Arizona State, brother Bob Hurley, and of course the great basketball coach, the two Bob Hurleys. The first Bob Hurley touches his ring from high school basketball. The second Bob Hurley taps his ring from the playing days at Duke. Hurley taps his from this year in the national championship last night. Now on to baseball, AL Central. The Minnesota Twins had some off years. Last season was included. The offensive side, well, Carlos Correa in the Twins improving by 16 games is very hard. I've got the Twins finishing 87-75, which is a much improved team. The Twins are 4-0. Tonight, they will go at it again. Against the Marlins, it'll be Kenton Maeda on the mound for the Twins, and Sandy Alcardo will go for the Marlins. First pitch, 5:40. And the Twins finishing 87-75. The Royals finished last year at 65-97. While I expect the team to improve and better than 68 is their projection, I expect MJ Melendez and Bobby Witt Jr. to improve. I expect the offensive side. People ask, why are we starting Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop? Well, do you have a better answer? If you do, let me know. We might as well see where he goes at shortstop this season. Nicky Lopez isn't better. Nicky Lopez doesn't have the future that Bobby Witt Jr. does, so you might as well see what he has at shortstop, and Nicky Lopez can wait. I would like to see the Royals, if they can dish some guys from the trade deadline, trading guys like Salvador Perez, if they can get enough back for him. Zach Greinke, Aroldis Chapman, relief pitcher Dylan Coleman, like Josh DeMont can jump back up. Carlos Hernandez, closer, would have been mine. Players could be moved for a big trade. MJ Melendez, Bobby Witt Jr., Vascantino possibly. If you're dishing these guys out, I'm hoping you're really getting a real ace, not Brady Singer. He's a third or second starter guy. Probably a third guy. If you can get an ace, then maybe this is worth it. Do the Royals get worse if the trading comes through? Maybe. for the time being, but it makes them better in the end. Maybe in 2024 and 2025, it would be all worth it. After I think about, I wanted to give the Royals 75 wins, but I think I give them 73 with the players moving around. So right now I have the Royals finishing at 73 and 89. Hopefully the Royals are making some new moves. Next team up is the Cleveland Guardians at 92 and 70 last year. Josh Naylor had 20 home runs. Jose Ramirez had 29 home runs and 126 RBIs. Those are outstanding stats to carry a team. Shane Bieber had a 13-8 record and gave up no runs in the first game. This year, Tristan Marquez had 2.96 and 11-11. The bullpen for the Indians, Emmanuel Carzes, has had a rough year to start the season, but I'm sure he'll jump right back on it. He had 42 saves last season. Trevor Stephan had an ERA of 2.96. Sam Haggard had an ERA of 2.47. I've got the Indians finishing just in front of the Twins at 89. I move on to the Tigers, who finished 66 and 96. The batters don't have a good enough batter to mention on the Tigers. Andrew Chafin finished with a 2.83. Nothing else to mention for as far as the Tigers. 2022, they made a couple trades. In 2023, I have them finishing at 70 and 92. The White Sox manager Tony La Russa was fired last year. Could never really give up on him, and took him a while to give up on him. And then they hired Miguel Cairo for the last couple games. They finished 18 and 16. One of the long situations took fire. They didn't hire their manager back. This year, former Royals bench coach Pedro Gafal will be the manager for the White Sox. The White Sox would not be my choice, but we'll see. The White Sox finished 81 and 81. Aaron Bummer and Dylan Case had a good year with a 2.20 and a 2.36. Liam Hendricks also had a good year with 2.81, finishing with 37 saves. I have them finishing 83 and 79. Too much talent to go 81 and 81 like they did last year, but too old to get more than 83 wins. Here is the records. Guardians 89 and 73, Twins 87 and 75, Chicago White Sox 83 and 79, Royals 73 and 89, Tigers 70 and 92. Here's more from Jim Nance.
Now we're down to one game for the championship. Manning, big time play. They needed a jolt. They got one. Kansas completes the biggest championship comeback.
They were right next to my campus. So I guess I want them to win. But they don't have to win. I mean, San Diego State can win if they want to. Now, I don't like Ohio State. I would never put Ohio State again because they took the national championship from Miami in football. It's not a pass.
Yeah, I remember that game.
I don't know.
Where that pass interference penalty.
I was like 7.
Yeah, I was watching that game with some good friends, and we were stunned because that was almost the last time Miami's really been kind of heard from in football.
I'm pretty sure it was when the ice storm was going on or whatever. Close to that time around there. But close to that time around there.
Might have been close because I was in Omaha at the time, and
we had a terrible storm here. If you remember that.
I don't think we had an ice storm in Omaha that night. We may have, but I do remember that game very well.
So it could have been. I could have just been at the hotel with my cousin, but we were at the same hotel that we stayed up when the ice storm hit.
Yeah.
Those 4 teams, you're picking UConn. I'm gonna pick. I guess I'll pick UConn. I'll pick UConn. Who are you picking out of the other game? Florida Atlantic or San Diego State?
I'm gonna go San Diego State.